We got to explain this thing to you tonight, because Ra is the enemy to us. There's a difference between Ra and Amenra, two different things. Amenra is the hidden god, which is Osiris and Set. You see what I'm saying? But Ra is a different entity. And also I knew it 2 or 3 years ago, but I didn't want to, I never did come out with it, but I knew this would be doggone suicide, because the simple fact we just got into the Egyptian thing. But what it is over the years in Hemmitt, there's a certain amount of deities that got crossed up. And one of the actual deities that got crossed up was Ra. So I had several documents on it, a small aspect of it, but I needed some greater evidence. And what happened was I had a book that I had gotten about 2 years ago. A book that came out in 1994 that I got about 2 years ago. And when I went up to Buffalo, Brother Karanja made me privy to it, that it was in the same book that I had, and he had gotten a copy of it and read it. And somehow when I was reading the book, the part I think I was all the way in the back of the book, and it was at the beginning, what, page 24? Yeah, something like that. But anyway, the book is called The Everyday Life of Egyptian Gods by Deities and something else. Everyday Life of Egyptian Gods. Yeah, translated from French. Anyway, I had mentioned the book about a year or two ago, but there is some actual evidence in there based on him being a part of this demiurge, which we're going to also get into today, to try to clear this thing up. Since I made this statement, we have to clear this particular part up also. This particular part up also. But there's a difference between Amenra and Ra. There's a guy by the name, there's a book by the name of, Egyptian Myths and Mysteries by, let's see, I'll get the guy's name in a few minutes, so it'll come to me. Egyptian Myths and Mysteries, and he also wrote the myth of the Babylonian people, but I'm trying to, the name will come to me in a few minutes. But also there's a part in there where Amen rose up from the underworld and became Ra. So in actuality, Amen literally in the passage overthrows Ra. And we're going to get into that particular part also too on the hard copy. But it's also saying, the brother made this print to me as to say that, brother, that as you can step to nation, which is not necessarily, you know, like you have, you know, basically, they was a part of the Afrocentric thing, and then they tried to upgrade their stuff and try to get into this whole metaphysical thing, and basically there's just a whole lot of terminology. But this particular brother is the genuine article, you know, to take his seat among, you know, me, Valentine, Hemmitt D. Bernardo, and other brothers and sisters is out here doing this particular work. And so now, in actuality, this is not something that's in opposition to the Afrocentric movement. In actuality, this coincides with the Afrocentric movement. See, most people thought when the Afrocentric movement died down, but it didn't die down. It didn't die down. It actually went into another phase. We had history part at first, and you have to have a great Afro ground, but they always talk about mystery, and then the mystery came along later, but the Afrocentric people didn't realize that this was an extension. So this is actually the combination starting from the Afrocentric and the historical part. Now, why is that important? People out here, a lot of black people is going and they're getting a lot of stuff from the New Age and the occult, but because they didn't have a Afrocentric background, it's great to have this particular information when you go into the occult realm or what you call a New Age, for the simple fact, if you don't have an Afrocentric background, then what happens is you will get fooled in thinking that everybody, because the motherfucker talks spiritual. So the thing about it is you got niggas now and all meditating with crackers and all kind of shit like this and going all crazy and saying, you know, this is not right. You talking all this shit and all, but they don't have a basic Afrocentric background because the white boy make this shit come out of India. But so now they're dealing with this whole Celtic thing. They now basically understand that India, that goes, so they say, well, our shit is based on Celtic. Well, as I told you, the Celtic is nothing but a society that was inserted by the Moors, which is very interesting because I did a tape called Moorish Science and Necronomicon. And lo and behold, every now and then when you do something, something will come true. I did this particular tape, and I showed where the whole Grail mystery and all of this particular thing, the tarot cards, the runes, and all that stuff was brought up by the Moors. All this stuff that these people are practicing, green magic, Wicca, and all different things. But all of a sudden, every now and then after I did the tape back in 96, something was 96, I think it was late 96, or the beginning of 97, every now and then something will come in and validate what you're talking about. Now here's a book that just came out this summer. Everything is Under Control by Robert Anton Wilson. Now Robert Anton Wilson is in fact one of the first original researchers into what is called an Illuminati or the New World Order. By 1990, you got the second version, which is your boy Bill Cooper, which is these Christians. But Robert Anton Wilson, who was a part of Crowley's OTO, and who's been writing these books since the early 70s, might I add that is a part of the Illuminati also. But the key is this person is the genuine article. Everything is Under Control is his latest book, because Robert Anton wrote several books in the 70s and in the early 80s on the Illuminati. Mask of the Illuminati, famous Illuminati trilogies, but they were always in story form, where he literally took history and encoded it right into the actual novel. And he did this because at that particular time, a lot of books was being suppressed when you just straight out wrote about it. And at that time, they hadn't cloned everybody in the United States. We got to get into a lot of things tonight. So therefore, the people would wake up. So at that time, they had to literally make it into science fiction. So at that particular, basically written novel, so therefore, if you come up to him, they say, well, Robert Anton Wilson is a novelist. You see. So he would quote stuff, and even he wrote the book Luminoids with Neil Wilgus in 1978. But one of his greatest books is The Cosmic Trigger, 1978. Now, this is the key. So all of the Bill Cooper and all that shit is basically Christian-based. So the Christians got into the New World Order thing. Will lead you astray. So when Harper and Rowe wanted to get the real deal, they went to the master of it, which is the occult side, which is Robert Anton Wilson. His new book, Everything is Under Control, Conspiracies, Cults, and Cover-Up. This is a must-have. So the real deal shit about the Illuminati you will find in this. You see. But even he works for the Illuminati. You see. Now, every woman should read his book, and every man, basically, because we can't say that because men need to experience the feminine side too. But every woman should read his book, Ishtar Rising. How the great goddess went to hell and what you're going to do now she's rising back up. What's the name? Give me the book. You got the book? Or you left it at this? Ishtar Rising. And in that book they talk about, because you're going to find in the Greek mythology that Hercules, in order to rise up, he has to go, and then he's given 2 golden apples. And you've always seen this symbol of a symbol of spirit. You'll see this symbol in all esoteric doctrine. Well, the golden apple is 2 of these. I want to get them damn near the same size. And 2 of these in actuality come equipped with every woman, because this is the actual breast. You see. So this particular book is going into some real scientific things. Also, it's picking apart different types of males and how this male pathology. You got several types of males. This book is dealing with a lot of serious shit in her book, Ishtar Rising. In his book, Ishtar Rising. Which I think, in actuality, by him being a part of the Illuminati, you say, what is a man writing this stuff? But by him being a part of the Illuminati and also being a part of the Crowley's OTO, which is a sex magic group, he got a lot of this particular information from a lot of other documents. But anyway, that's his book, Ishtar Rising. He has another one, Prometheus Rising. But this one is the latest thing he did in years outside of a novel. When he writes on Illuminati, the majority of the stuff other than the Cosmic Trigger, Neil Wilgus's book, Illuminoid, which he also wrote the introduction, he usually writes the novel thing because he's a prolific writer. But this particular book is straight up what's going down. Now the key is, when I got this particular book, the first night it validated some stuff that I said on the Necronomicon tape, Necronomicon and Moorish Science, as well as I did one Moorish Science, I did one at Valentine House on some Moorish Science, which I also documented. He validates some stuff in here, which it goes exactly what I'm talking about based on this New Age thing. So now the New Age people understand if they trace everything back, it goes back to Africa. So they're trying to say, now we got a spiritual part too, it's called Celtic. Now, in here, he busts that up because I want to show you something. In here, he's writing on none other than Noble Drew Ali. You think there's some bullshit out there about the Noble Drew Ali, but why the hell is he up in this white man's book? You see what I'm saying? And he's writing on Noble Drew Ali, and he says this. But I want to read just a little bit of Noble Drew Ali was born probably, Timothy Drew probably in 1886 among the Cherokee Indians. Nothing about him is certain, but the Cherokees did often adopt runaway slaves. Some say his parents were slaves. Others say that he was from a Moorish, he was Moorish, and his father was Moorish and his mother was Cherokee. And they go and give you the whole science about that. Now, this is the key. He mentions a guy in here by the name of Bob Quinn. Now, he mentions that, but he has another part where he mentions, after he goes and explains what Noble Drew Ali and basically, you know, the Moorish Science Temple and all this, he mentions something on an article that came out in January of this year, The Fortune Times. There's a book called it's a magazine called The Fortune Times. But you know, those magazines, you know, they're sold not in just the regular newsstands, but you ever have, they got this place where they got like these stores that just sell all these magazines. It's like, magazine stands. And anyway, the Fortune Times, you can get it in there, would sell all these magazines. And might I add, we need to also see if the book Covert Action and World Report is still being published, which used to tell you all the stuff what the government is into. But in the Fortune Times that came out in January, this says, and I want to read this to you, which bears witness to what I was talking about based on this particular, I'm going to read something else in a few minutes, based on this particular Celtic thing, but I'm going to lead into it with this particular article. Recently in Fortune Times examined a strange case of some people called the Melungeons, or Melungenos. The Melungenos is a group of racial stock in the southern states who have been subject of controversy for centuries. They have European features and black skin. Local Indians never regarded them as white and said that they were before white people came. That's the same thing the Moorish Science people say. So every now and then all the little brothers on the street with the turbans, you know what I'm saying, with the bow ties and with the fezzes, and all of a sudden you thought was stupid. Well, not you, but the people thought was stupid. Now these white people come up saying the same shit. You see what I'm saying? Now look at this. The Indians never regarded them as white, said they were before white people. That's what the Moors say. F.T. Fortune Times' most plausible theory is that the Melungeons was a mixed Moorish, Turkish, and Portuguese ancestry. Perhaps they were also part of a pool of Noble Drew Ali's family lure and gave him some of his same ideas. Fortune Times also suggests that Abraham Lincoln may have been from some Melungeon ancestry. That's J.A. Rogers. Bam! This is what the goddamn cracker saying. So this ain't the black people now saying this no more. This is what the white man's saying. That even Abraham Lincoln, the first five, the 5 presidents, we got about 6 of them now. J.A. Rogers did that in the 20s or something. And, even Blair did one. But I'm trying to say, here's what the white people are saying. Now, the key is, this what goes in where I know this bears witness. to say that this is also is good. Some shit validate your own self. Now, over the years, I told you to go get a movie called The Secrets of Rowan Ish. And in this, The Secrets of Rowan Ish. And in this movie, it talks about the Irish people on some island, which the British came in and made them change their name, made them so they couldn't outlaw their language. But say these people were born of some black seals, and if you get the skin off this seal, every now and then this seal comes up and takes the skin off, and it's this white woman. And if you get this seal from this, the skin from this seal, she will have to be with you for years, and basically she bears children. And this seal bore all these children in Ireland, and they're called the Darkies. And yeah, you see, I got the dark, and it was a white person saying, see my dark hair and my dark eyes. Even in the movie Commitment, they were trying to start a soul band in Ireland, and they say, well, they tell us that the Irish are the black people of Europe. Okay? But in this movie, they talk about these seals and these dark people being birthed from these seals. Secrets of Rowan Ish, which also leads the next year to doggone Braveheart. And how the British had to say, if we cannot kill them off, we'll breed them off. The Braveheart ship was a fight based on that black element in Scotland. Okay? Which is the Highlander. Gotta go get both Highlander 1 and Highlander 2 and get the director's cut. If you're either gonna rent it or buy it. But you want to get the director's cut of both Highlander 1 and Highlander 2. There is a Highlander 3, and there's something about that too, but I'll get into that later on. But the whole thing with the Highlander is the black man, the immortal. The sword comes from Salamanca, which is Moorish, which is the first Moorish university. The sword is Salamanca. Sean Connery was playing an Egyptian. But in the movie Highlander 1, he said, we're supposed to be immortal and go through life, basically, and don't die. Well, you do that, too. You just reincarnate over and over. That's what immortality is. We're all immortal. You just get a new body every couple of years. Until we come together with the quickening, or we come together at the gathering, someplace in a faraway land. Now, this is in Scotland where Sean Connery is telling me, someplace in a faraway land that's not even invented yet. We're going to come together with the gathering. And that's talking about America. And they came together and and they had the quickening, and only one can be the Highlander. That's all the black man shit. Now, the key is the whole Braveheart. Same thing, although it was fiction, is taken from mythology. Now, bears witness to what I'm saying here. He also mentions in here a guy by the name of Bob Quinn. So let's look up Bob Quinn, which bears witness to what I was saying back in 90, when I did this tape in 96. I think it was in 96. I want to deal with this. Y'all bear with me 1 minute. I want to get this for you. Bob Quinn. Now, he has a footnote when he talks about Noble Ali. He has a footnote. And he also mentions Bob Quinn. Let's see what Bob Quinn has to say. Bob Quinn has presented his ideas in 3 television programs on Irish television, or Irish TV. In the book below, listed below, we'll tell you the name of the book. He holds that Ireland has a strong culture and genetic link to North Africa. That's your Celtic people. Going back to the dawn of civilization in the view of Atlantis. So his book is called In This View Atlantis. No, excuse me, I'm sorry, that's not the name of the book. Hold on, I think I got the footnote in a few minutes what the name of it is. Hold on. In This View Atlantis was a continent in the middle Atlantic with we know now that Atlantis and that whole thing is proven now. The tectonic plates was all one landmass. They proved that last year, 97, on the History Channel. Not the History Channel, but the Discovery Channel is one landmass, a tectonic plate. But anyway, the Middle Atlantic, but the culture was extending over the areas of Morocco and the Gallic-speaking Atlantic coast, Spain, Britain, France, Ireland, and especially West Ireland. Now, you know that they say that you can damn near walk from Morocco to Europe where there's one part where the water don't get but this high. And you literally can ride on horseback. You see what I'm saying? Brother C. Freemanell deals with the history on that. But anyway, it says that Spain, Britain, France, Ireland, and West Ireland in some and just as the modern Ireland and Celtic bedrock overlaid with English languages and genes of original Celtic bedrock was, overlaid with Moorish foundation. Now, to go back to this, it says, in some, just the modern Ireland has the Celtic bedrock overlaid with the English language and genes of original Celtic bedrock was overlaid on a Moorish foundation. This evidence seems quite impressive. Now, he's saying basically, you get the word bedrock, shamrock, those alchemical terms for the holy rock, or what you call the philosopher's stone. The bedrock is the mother rock. That's the whole shit with pebbles and bam bam and all that shit. That's metaphysical. Just like Popeye, that whole shit was all metaphysical. I am that I am. I am that I am. Popeye, I am that I am. Brother C. Freemanell deals with the science on that. But all this stuff, that was the earliest part. Now, anyway, he goes in and says that all of that Irish shit and that Celtic stuff is Moorish, is of Moorish origin. Just exactly what I said. Now, this is what he says in the book that breaks this down. The types where you can explain this that's impressive. Now, this is on page 355 of this particular book. The types are O blood is common. Type O blood is common in North Africa, West Ireland, but rare in European mainland. In the European mainland, you can understand what that whole IRA shit is about now in Britain and Ireland. Okay. Roman authors describe the Celts as tall and blonde, but most Irish say they are short with dark hair. So the Pope spent years trying to change this shit around. The Irish music is unlike any other European music. When Quinn played some of the samples of European musicologists, that's one, I guess that's another name for some shit the white boy got now, you know. And asked, so the musicologists, I guess that's an expert on music, and asked where did it come from. They said that they guessed that it all came from Africa. That's what the music people say. This shit came from Africa. Some said Asia. Now, it says the word Esau means Jesus both in Arabic and in Irish Gaelic. The Celtic cross was found in a country, carried the carbon dated, etc., 9000 AD. The Arabic word Bismillah is the name of Allah on it. So what it is this Celtic cross has the word Bismillah on it, which Bismillah is the name of Allah. It says a type, now this is the key, and this is why you seeing this shit, because the crackers always don't let nobody fool you. All of a sudden you seeing all these movies about Ireland and all this type of stuff. This is what you seeing on public television. They're selling videos and all this shit, and this is what it is. A type of dancing which the body remains rigid and stiff, but the feet move rapidly, is common to North Africa, Celtic Spain, Britain, France, and West Ireland. So that river dance shit, the same river dance thing that they doing all this shit here, Lord of the dance, the African do the same shit where they be dancing and they got a ritual, they dance and everything is straight, but the feet is moving. So that river dance shit is the Irish type of African shit. So what's happening? See what I'm saying? You got to understand the science on this thing right now. So the white boy is also saying in the esoteric field, our only link is with Ireland. So now they're dealing with all this river dance shit, all these movies about Ireland, all this music about Ireland, all that shit. That's a key. But my man here says Quinn has reamed similar evidence that makes persuasive, if not incontrovertible, case. He believes that the Irish Moorish connection is hidden in the Roman Catholic Church and part of a scheme to cover up the fact that St. Patrick never existed and that the early Irish Christians were Gnostics from North Africa. So that St. Patrick shit, you know that's mythology based on when they ran the rest of the snake people out of Ireland. They say St. Patrick ran the snakes out. They said he also ran some toads out, some type of bug. What are the bugs? That's the scarab people. Understand the science on that. But anyway, this guy is dealing with this particular stuff. The book is called Atlantean, Ireland's North African, Atlantean, Ireland's North African and Maritime Heritage by Bob Quinn. Bob Quinn, 1986. Quartet books. So this is very key based on this particular information, as well as some other stuff that we're going to get into in a few minutes also. The Druids and all of that, they say that the Druids have no written history, but they got a book out called The Mysteries of Isis and Osiris by the Druids. It's some Jewish book of Isis and Osiris. You know, it's also in your book, Signs and Symbols, Primordial Man. The man talks about that whole Celtic Druid thing. Albert Churchward. You see what I'm saying? Joffrey Higgins has the book, The Celtic Druids, also, the big thick book. Robert Anton Wilson says on his website that maybe I am inadvertently working for the doggone government, by the Illuminati, and don't know it. Yeah, right. How the hell you going to inadvertently be doing something? Why would you say that shit about yourself? You see what I'm saying? That ought to let you know that he's telling you that I'm working for the Illuminati. Well, look what he says about the clones, and this is very key that you understand this, about the clone thing.
Right up here.
Okay. Where? Okay. Oh, that's right. Like I did before. Okay, I got it. I tell you what, I'm going to put it on the pocket. This is what I do. Because, the energy is better. Huh?
Okay, let's see.
Okay, now, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put this on, and I'm putting chains in my shirt. You see what I'm saying? I'm putting chains in my shirt, which is cool. That just fit up next to your body anyway. And I'll put it next to my shirt and see, is that... Oh, that's worse? Oh, well. Oh, man, well, let me hide that then. Shit. Let me do it real tight. Okay, now. But the wire's all down here with my gutty as hell. Now, shit, you shit. This is a hood over a fucking hot rod. This shit here. Dude, you know it's going to do something. Oh, it did? Okay, cool. All right. Okay. Now, what's that? Well, see, that's what we all do. Just accelerated. We talking about a Christ energy. What about if I just put it on the table? But then again, it would be bumping around on the table. What about that? You see. So it's the same power that came back hooked up. Every now and then you incarnate back hook up. And she was hooked up that way. Because all the steroids in the world could not do that. I don't give a damn. You see what I'm saying? Could not do that type of shit. You see. So they took the sister out. It's very key that you understand that at this particular time. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. You know. Well, I'm just saying, what should I do?
Maybe wire it from the back, put it on the collar.
I don't know. You think so? I'm just saying. Well, I don't know. I mean, you want me to take it? I'll tell you what. I'm going to take it out of my... Okay, wait a minute. Let me take it. Let me do one thing. So let's see. I'm going to take it off of my body the best I can. Let's see. Hold on. Maybe it's just hood over the hot rod doing it now. Okay. Oh, click. Oh, that's right. Okay. Click to the belt.
Go from the back, sir.
Yes. The top pocket. Oh, it's gonna fall out there, man.
Isn't this wire already installed?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you used to do sound. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. How does that?
The mic is turned around the opposite way.
Okay. Let's see. How is it still messing up?
Wait, it's turned around the wrong way.
Okay. Yeah. We got the sound, real deal sound lady here. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Fine. Don't matter. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. Now, anyway, going back, so they took the sister out. I wanted you to know that it's based on this whole cycle thing, which is key, because I need to get into this Clinton thing right now so you can understand what's really going on and what's behind that particular part on this hard copy thing. So this is very key. It's not as if that this particular information has nothing to do with what's going on, but we need to understand that right now they are saying, although you might say, so they're telling you in so many words. You might say, man, what the hell is going on? Like, he the first president got some damn ass on the side, right? But they keep saying, but you say, well, what the hell is going on? But they keep saying, crisis. Crisis. They keep saying that, crisis. Okay? Now remember the last time I was here, I said, look for something to happen in the summer solstice. So on August 17th, you see, which was 8/17, which if you go in the book of law, you will see 4/18, and you'll also see 7/18. 7/18 is called disqualification, which is also in the Bible. It has something also to do with Leviathan. Very key that you understand this. So he announced it on 8/17, which is 7/18. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Now this is the key. What's happening here is this. First of all, it happened in the summer solstice. A couple of days after that, he bombed Africa. And that whole thing happened. Now, the whole key is that they got to do something major to keep the people's mind off of something maximum that's actually going on. And whether it transpires, you must understand something. They're saying crisis, but one thing that we are failing to understand, they're saying crisis